Hey there, and welcome to a CLNS Red Sox Roundtable. Alex, Barth, and Nick Quaglia with you talking about Carson Smith. At one point, the last remaining hope for the Red Sox bullpen. Now he's going to be out. Who knows how long? It does not sound good. According to Evan Drellick, there are concerns that it could be a major injury, perhaps a season-threatening injury. Not from throwing a baseball, but from throwing his glove out of anger after allowing a home run earlier this week. Now, story gets a little deeper from there, Nick, but right off the bat, I want to get to you. Where does this rank among just dumb injuries? He said it's not. Smith said it's a fatigue issue, and we'll touch on that in a bit, that he normally throws his glove like that to warm up. I'm not buying that for a second.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even really – the injury sucks. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy was one of the focal points of becoming a major focal point of the bullpen. He was the only guy that I really trusted somewhat coming out of the bullpen. I didn't trust him wholeheartedly like I do Craig Kimbrell to a point, but I trusted Carson Smith. That guy was becoming your eighth inning guy. He was becoming a guy that when he came out, you expected him to get you out of a jam or at least hold on to the lead for you. Now that going back to the actual injury, how he did it throwing the glove, I'm not going to get too mad at that because I see guys do it all the time. I mean, it sucks that that's what hurt him. Realistically, you can get hurt doing whatever. Who knows how Hector Velasquez hurt his back? That could be stupid too.
He hurt his back because they need to get somebody else on the roster.
All right. And past roundtable, we talked about that. But no, Carson Smith throwing his glove, it happens. It sucks that that's what hurt his arm, and maybe don't be stupid and maybe don't be such a baby, and then maybe this injury wouldn't have happened. But it's really the behind-the-scenes stuff that we're about to talk about that is the big kicker to the story.
Right. He's blaming it on shoulder fatigue is what he told reporters, that he was overworked. So naturally, the media, they ask Alex Cora. Cora says that Carson Smith told him he was good to throw that day, that he had no concerns about Carson Smith's arm. He hadn't heard anything about it. Media goes back to Carson Smith, said this is what the manager said. And here we go with the he said, she said. And Carson Smith says no comment. So the woe is me Red Sox are back. And this is beyond Carson Smith. It's beyond Blake Swihart demanding a trade, which we talked about in an earlier roundtable. You can check that out on the CLNS YouTube page. This is what happens when your captain, de facto captain, a 33-year-old, video game addicted,
love and frostbite,
purse dog having starting pitcher is allowed to run the locker room. Okay, David Price has allowed a festering attitude of woe is me, blame everybody else to spread, to infect the Red Sox locker room in the post-David Ortiz era. And here we go. We have pitchers complaining that they're overworked when they've only thrown, 23 innings in the last 3 years. We have guys who are hitting 150 complaining and wanting to be traded. Who knows what's going to happen when the little leader Dustin Pedroia comes back? Nobody's held accountable for their crappy play. Cough, cough, Jackie Bradley and the catchers. The hell is going on with this team? They were so likable a month ago. Joe Kelly, Jim Buchanan out there throwing haymakers against the Yankees. And now what is this? We're complaining about arm fatigue 18 innings into the season? Come on, guys. This is the Boston Red Sox. This is a major market historic franchise. Man up, grow a sack, go out there and play. Stop throwing bitch fits, throwing your glove. Stop playing video games. Stop being mad you're not getting enough playing time when you haven't earned it. Go out there and play. Beyond frustrating. I was so looking forward to rooting for this team this year, and they have just destroyed all of the goodwill in the last week. Nick, go ahead.
That was an all-time rant. I'm a big fan of that rant. But no, what you were wrong about one.
By the way, I was only going to talk for about 20 seconds. Go ahead.
You were wrong. It's not 18 innings. He has pitched 14 innings this year.
Oh, well, now I have to read through the whole rant.
It's
14 innings.
It is May 16th. The guy has pitched 14 innings, and he's complaining about arm fatigue. Craig Kimbrell, who is a gamer, unless you put him in the 8th inning with men on base, Craig Kimbrell, who is a gamer, will give you an inning every night if he has to. Chris Sale pitched well over 200 innings last season.
He pitched 9 innings the other day despite no run support. You don't hear him bitching.
And he had it with 15 strikeouts. Carson Smith had an entire year off. Like what was it? 20? You said 23 innings over the past 3 years.
23 or 32 in the last 3 years, but that's not a lot.
He has arm fatigue.
9 and 10 innings a year, 8 and 10 innings a year. I could do that.
He has arm fatigue. And I heard this today. He's like 150 something in the league when it comes to innings pitched for relievers this year. So there's a lot of other pitchers who are healthy, who are pitching their balls off, who are pitching very well for their teams, who aren't complaining for their teams, who aren't getting stupid injuries, who have pitched triple the amount of innings. Probably not triple, but a good amount of innings. More than
that much. It's like 30 innings.
14 innings. That's nothing. Do you know how much money that guy's getting paid? Millions of dollars to throw 14 innings in a month and a half in Major League Baseball.
It's David Price syndrome. You're unhappy, you're bored, you're not pitching well, create an injury. And it's allowed to happen because that guy's in the locker room. Okay, let's before we wrap it up here, the fact of the matter is now there is no Carson Smith. Hector Velasquez is on the DL. Stephen Wright's in the bullpen, which doesn't seem to be a solution. You can check us out talking about that on a previous roundtable. What do the Red Sox do? Do they have to make a trade now? Maybe that's where Swihart comes in. I still want to see Ty Buttrey, even though 2 years ago he broke his hand punching a sprinkler. So he's a great fit in the locker room.
Yes, he's perfect for the team.
But what are we doing in the bullpen here, Nick? Joe Kelly's the 8th inning guy. I know you approve of that, but those of us who live in the reality and not on potential world don't think that's a good idea. What are we doing with this Red Sox bullpen?
First of all, I don't even think it's potential world anymore. I think Joe Kelly is handling that role quite fine. And it's not really a solution. You know, Tyler Thornburg's making his rehab starts, not doing too well.
If Tyler Thornburg could actually exist, like if I saw proof that the myth of Tyler Thornburg, the Loch Ness monster of the bullpen, as I call him, was real, I'd feel a lot better.
Yeah, no, realistically, I don't think there's any solution that's in the bullpen as it stands right now. Hector Velasquez was the brightest spot of the bullpen, and this guy's down with a back injury, a phantom back injury. So Swihart, and this is where Swihart comes in, and this is what we talked about on the last roundtable, or whatever order this comes out in. Swihart could either be traded, in my opinion, for a new catcher, which I don't think they'll do because I think they love Christian Vasquez and Stanley Leon both, or they could trade him for a veteran relief pitcher, which I think is the more viable solution. And by the time the trade deadline comes around, if Swihart's still on this team, Dave Dombrowski is swinging and missing. Good baseball reference for a baseball show.
Forget about July 31st. By May 31st, if they haven't made a move to fix the bullpen, there's a major concern. Are there 30 days in May? There are 30, right?
I don't know.
30 days has September, April. Yeah, okay. If by May 31st they haven't made a move, forget July 31st. That would have been a lot cooler if I didn't have to double check myself. They need to make a move. They need to make a move soon. They need to make a big move. All right. I'm gonna go look at a calendar because apparently I need to brush up on my months. So until the next roundtable, make sure you check us out on Twitter at Red Sox CLNS and check us out online at clnsmedia.com. For Nick Quaglia, I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for watching.